Yeah. So, hello, dear audience of Digging Deep. Welcome to our new podcast. And in today's new podcast, I'm going to introduce you Shamdanee Tabriz, who's the founder of Rapido Deliveries, uh, uh, a business in the logistics sector of Bangladesh. And currently, they're operating in Dhaka, and hopefully soon they will be reaching outside of Dhaka, the capital, and in other places. But today's conversation starts with a very intriguing topic that Shamdani mentioned this by himself before we were discussing about what should we discuss today, and that is the Global Innovation Index 2018. So when we were discussing about this Global Innovation Index 2018, like he mentioned to us a very good point that although the entrepreneurship sector, the business sector, as well as the GDP of Bangladesh is booming a lot for the last 10 or 15 years or so, this Global Innovation Index 2018 shows that Bangladesh ranks 115, so it's one of the lowest according to this Global Innovation Index ranking. So why? So this is something we will start our podcast with. So let's welcome Shamdani Tabriz. Shamdani, a
Thank you.
very good welcome to my show.
Thank you
I
so
hope
much.
you have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love your podcast, Tawik. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. And good evening and assalamu alaikum to all the audiences who's listening to this podcast right now. I hope you're doing great. So, as my friend Tawik has just mentioned, uh, apparently Bangladesh has been branded as the least innovative country in the Global Innovation Index. I find it absolutely funny, and it's definitely hard to swallow as a player in this ecosystem. So what I feel is that there's a distinct difference between innovation and entrepreneurship.
Uh-huh.
Right. So if we look at Mr. Dr. Mubarak Hussain, right?
Uh-huh.
He's
Yes.
absolute genius. He's from Bangladesh. What he has done is he has done a technological marvel. He has introduced synthesized polymer, which is a biodegradable polythene, which is made from jute fibers, right?
Yes.
Now, this person is unfortunately struggling to make this into a commercial product. On the other
Because
hand, if we,
yeah.
because I think, yeah, I'm getting back, I'm getting to the point.
Uh-huh.
And on the other hand, I'm going to talk about Dr. Miratul Muhammad Khan. So he is a British Bangladeshi, and he has done some outstanding stuff with his field. He has been named as one of the 2016 awardees for the prestigious European Molecular Biology Organization Young Investigator Program. So his research has made several important breakthroughs in the genetic mutation responsible for the Parkinson's disease, right? So
Oh.
I think it's a great breakthrough. So the question is, this person is a Bangladeshi as well. The person I was talking about earlier, Dr. Mubarak Hussain, is a Bangladeshi as well. The question is, are we incapable of being innovative, or are we simply lacking the opportunities?
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm. Yes.
So from my perspective, innovation is simply a continuous process. It's just adding values to the existing ways of doing things in how in how innovation works. This is how innovation works. Value should have some meaning to it. That's what I believe. Right? If we look at the recent past in Dhaka city, traffic was a huge problem, and we have seen successful startups like Patal, Uber, and Shahoj, and bringing all the solutions in the palm of their hand. If we look at the repairing problem, right? If I need to get an paint job in my home and probably fix my sink, I would definitely go for Shave XYZ or Handy Mama. If we need a grocery shopping, I'm gonna contact Chaldal. These are all in apps, and let's say what I do, rapid deliveries. If you need to get something delivered from point A to point B from the comfort of your home, you can simply download my app and just get it delivered.
So,
In the blink
Shamdani,
of an eye. Right.
so what do you think? Like this Global Innovation Index. So here we can see that innovation slowly turning into entrepreneurship. in Bangladesh,
Right.
or maybe there are lack
Yeah.
of opportunities where great
Absolutely.
innovations couldn't turn or struggling to turn into entrepreneurship. But what
Mhm.
you are saying that entrepreneurship is definitely there, innovation is
Mhm.
of course there, right? That's what you're
Right.
trying to say. But uh,
Absolutely.
one of my question is about this
Mhm.
global innovation index. Like, I can see that it is published annually by Cornell, INSEAD,
Mhm.
and the World Intellectual Property Organization. So,
That's
World
correct.
Intellectual Property Organization is something that you innovate something and you
Right.
get your property rights for
Right.
innovating that product,
You get
or
your patents. Yeah.
yes, you get your patents.
Right.
Do you know anything about this patent,
All right.
operation
That's a
in
very,
Bangladesh, or how is it
right.
happening, or yeah, can you give us
Mhm.
some information?
I can give you a brief insight within
Yeah.
whatever knowledge that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been affiliated with the Bangladesh ICT division for the past 2 years, as we're a product of the first incubation program by the government. It's called the Connecting Startups Bangladesh, or Startups Bangladesh. It has
Mm-hmm.
revamped itself. So what government has done is they're trying to give this patent right? Now
Yeah.
all the innovators can patent their ideas, their products. Maybe it's limited to design patent right now. Still, it's a good leap. I would say it's a good start. So innovators these days can go ahead and patent their product and at least secure their ideas. Because it's very difficult to find innovative people in the first place. People are always there to steal your ideas. So government is definitely taking some steps, and it's a good way forward. So I think there are lots of rooms that needs to be, there are lots of opportunities, right, where we can do better with the patents, but I think it's a good start. It's not bad.
Okay, okay. And so, like, I think maybe Bangladesh scores slow because of they
Hmm.
don't have a strong property intellectual rights. Not yet, not yet. I think it's also developing, and once it develops, they will grow more. But Shamdani, let's come to you. As
All
a
right, sure.
so you are a you are both a social entrepreneur and a businessman, and you have your own company. So let's get into Rapido Deliveries. What is
All
Rapido
right.
Deliveries and what does it do?
All right. So Rapido Deliveries is essentially a tech-led logistics startup.
Uh-huh.
What do I mean by a tech-led logistics startup? Basically, the complete opposite of the traditional business,
Mm-hmm.
traditional courier services. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The idea evolved from, it was back in 2015, and I wanted to order something from online.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't name the traditional couriers in Bangladesh, but as I ordered something, I was informed that I would be delivered after 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had a few conversation with the clients, like what are the difficulties that you are facing? And they mentioned something that they have to visit their nearest branch office, hand over all the products, they come back, and they hope that all the parcels get delivered. Now, I have studied in a very good institute in Dhaka city. None of those education, really reflects on your personal life. I personally believe that all the certificates are probably to get a job or get married. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But the only lessons I took was understanding the core difference between a B2C market and a B2B market.
Mm-hmm.
So what the traditional courier service did was it was designed for the B2C market, the business to customer, the mass population.
Mm-hmm.
There was a sweet niche market, the B2B market, all the folks who are doing business online.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, as a customer myself, how would I feel convenient to receive a product or do a business on internet?
Mm-hmm.
So the idea started from there. Initially, I did not start off with any capital at all. It was basically I had a cycle
Mm-hmm.
and I had a bag which I carried all my books to while going to the Brack University.
Mm-hmm.
And there was my friend was a co-partner, Mr. Amjit Firdos. So both of us planned, all right, let's give it a try. How about we like start taking orders from WhatsApp
Mm-hmm.
and deliver it by ourselves, and let's see how far this goes. So we started off, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in between the classes, uh, I had around 2 to 3 hours. I used to like go around with my cycle and deliver in the nearest areas, and my friend used to deliver in the other areas. So both of us got the Dhaka city covered. And
Okay.
within 3 months, Alhamdulillah, the business started to bring in revenues, profits.
Okay.
We were able to like buy
One
some
question.
bicycles and yeah,
Like
sorry.
the way you started and the way you and your friends started. So this is like the first try your like there's a lot of founders or startup founders who
Mhm.
don't do their own work, but you say that
And,
you started doing the main operational work by
uh,
yourselves. So
mhm.
that's great, that's awesome. And like what I
Thank
also
you so
want
much.
to know more about is, did you start with this business to consumer, or did you start with business to business, or these your
Right.
work models develop later on?
All right. We just started off without sketching,
Anything.
much of the operational plans.
Uh,
What we did smart, I would say, is that we took a Google survey
uh-huh.
among there were F-commerce businesses who were doing business online. So
Hmm.
what I did was I just knocked them individually. It was just a cold, or just like a cold call. Just drop them an email and said that if you could spare 15 minutes of your precious time,
Yeah.
give me your feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And they were really nice. Among 400 people, 200 people responded back. And from there, I was able to get a perspective of this market, what this market requires, what is the ideal pricing, what they really want differently from a traditional existing courier service. So we were able to get an idea and design our operations as we went along.
All right.
And as you've mentioned something that doing something on my own, well, it was uh, I had to do it because I did not have much. I didn't have any capital. It was like zero penny in my pocket. Right? But
Mm-hmm.
it has really helped me to learn a very important lesson. Now I understand that how difficult it is for each and every of my delivery agents who are working on the field deliver a parcel on summer, on a rainy day, during cold winter. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult job, and it helped me to get a perspective, to be on in their shoes and understand their perspective and understand my business better.
Okay, great. Like like that's so inspiring, man. Like
Thanks.
like how did you guys grow? Like how do you guys are now as you are right now? Like what happened in these 3 years?
All right. So this journey was absolutely fabulous. Every day is a hustle.
Yeah.
All right. So after three successful years, Alhamdulillah, we have around 1,300 businesses
Uh huh.
are doing business with us. Among them, prominent names are Daraz,
Mhm.
Bangladesh. As we know that Alibaba has recently acquired Daraz,
Mhm.
so they're working with us. And but I take pride in saying that Rapido is just not a money-making machine.
Mhm.
Right? Every business should be able to solve a social problem. And
Mhm.
what I take pride in is that among these 1,300 clients, almost 80% of them are female entrepreneurs who
Okay.
doing business from home,
Great.
right? So these people, as we know that the culture in our country is a bit different from the West.
Uh huh.
Sadly, women are not empowered as much. They have to go through a lot of social stigmas.
Mhm.
Despite all those factors, they are trying to make a living and contribute to the family, which is amazing. Now I see that I'm helping each of these female entrepreneurs to transform their lives. They're earning as much as 1 to 2 lakhs, almost 1 to 2 lakhs every month doing business, and just by sitting at home. So it's absolutely fabulous that I could play a very small part in their life.
Okay. So you
This is
are
something which pushes us forward.
you are giving them a service to deliver their products in a on time efficiently so they can get their business done, right?
Absolutely. But that is something which we offer to all the genders, right? All the clients get that. But what we specifically try to do is we are providing special discounts to female entrepreneurs, giving them a service at a lesser cost. The service charge is, let's say, 10 to 20 bucks less than in the general charge that we have. So to inspire and to drag them into doing business. So this really motivates them to, all right, let's give it a shot. This is a reasonable price to start a business with. So it inspires them to, give it a thought.
And you have to tell us Rapido's secret of getting deliveries done. Like I just read an article that Dhaka is now the most densely populated.
Absolutely.
Like how do you get
Yeah.
your deliveries done on time and
Mm.
within this traffic? This is a
All right.
secret you have to share with us.
All right. So Dhaka being the most populated area, this is a blessing in disguise for us. All right.
Okay.
So what it means is that we're using bicycles. That
Uh-huh.
means we are contributing to zero carbon emission.
Uh-huh.
Since Dhaka is a very small city itself, what we try to do is, see, imagine this, right? We have a small demographic, a very small geographical space, and in here we have millions of people.
Uh-huh.
It's easier to reach out to people in the shortest distance.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And Dhaka being the largest city makes it more easy for us to implement this model to anywhere all across Bangladesh.
Okay.
So Dhaka is being the most challenging location so far.
Okay, okay. And like, if someone from, like, say from the north part of Dhaka wants to get a delivery done in the southest part of Dhaka, like, how do you channel this product within your given time? Like, if there's a huge traffic or something like that, how do you manage this from north to south? Let's say in north it can be Uttara, somebody is delivering something from Uttara to, let's say, the old Dhaka. So how
All
would
right.
you manage this? Is there any
All
channel
right.
that is established already, or like, yeah?
Right. So here's the trick. The traditional businesses have this model. What they try to do is they have several hubs all across the city.
Mm-hmm.
We have centralized hub, a huge inventory, which
Uh-huh.
is located just in the heart of Dhaka, just
Okay.
in the middle.
Okay.
So suppose you place an order today
Uh-huh.
and you want it to be delivered tomorrow. We will pick up the product by today. So all the delivery agents are dispersed all around the city. We'll collect it, bring it in the middle of the inventory. We'll sort it out overnight.
Okay.
The next day, the parcel gets delivered.
Okay. Okay. That's
Within
how.
24 hours, you'll have the product in your hand.
Okay. So you guys have a mothership. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
And
that's a cool way of saying it.
yes, of course. And so, like, Shamdani, like, things are going good. It's great, and I'm so happy for you as a friend. But
Thank you so much.
I want to know more about the people like you, more people like like as you are in this, as you are also a youth icon in this Bangladesh entrepreneurship sector. What about
Humbled.
the other youth icons, and what
Mhm.
you perceive about where is this a lot of youth entering the business sector, or let's call it the entrepreneurship sector? They are creating an impact. As you said before, Pathao is a huge business right now.
Huge success,
It's a
absolutely.
huge
Yeah.
success, and I don't think the CEO is not very old. I think he's relatively
He's,
very
he's,
young.
he's very young.
Yeah,
If you're
so
talking about Elias, he's a very dynamic guy, and he knows how to put his words into actions, and he has done that.
yeah, so like these people are below 35 or under 35,
Absolutely,
and they're creating a huge impact, like you.
absolutely.
So what do you think, and what do you perceive of this youth in Bangladesh business? What are your some say that we can take away as a lesson?
Uh, what I personally believe is that Bangladesh has a very bright future
Mm-hmm.
in the upcoming 5 to 10 years. We are almost there to be the next Asian tiger
Mm-hmm.
because we have so much population. If we look at the demographic dividend, almost 70% of the population are either stepping into the real world. That means the 70% of this population are going to contribute to the economy. And
Uh-huh.
this demographic dividend happens only once to every country. Bangladesh is blessed with twice. Once it happened, it was during 1971. Right. So we were very unfortunate because we were not able to gather around this opportunity because we were very busy trying to deal with all the natural calamities and the war-torn countries. Right now, as we see, we're on the journey to become a developed country, and a lot of perspective has changed. If you look at what has happened in the past 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was an immense brain drain from our country,
Mm-hmm.
immense level of brain drain. So we don't see many of those people going abroad, and they don't usually come back.
Mm-hmm. True.
They are the cream of the society. They have a lot to contribute to this country. I
Mm-hmm.
strongly believe that they are the ones who can actually help pull this country forward.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you have already mentioned about Pathao, yes, I'm talking about Kaporan Bhai from Andy Mama. All of them are under 35.
Mm-hmm.
All the young entrepreneurs in this ecosystem, all are under 35, and they're all pumped up. And
Mm-hmm.
they're ready to take a risk.
Mm-hmm.
So, my message would be, let's say, takes me back to a quote, right? The quote was something like, a ship in the harbor is safe,
Mm-hmm.
but that is not what ships are built for.
Mm-hmm.
So we
True.
are capable of doing great things in life. The trick is like you have to believe in it before you see it coming. We have to really strongly believe in it, and there's nothing that can stop us from getting what we really want. So
True.
just go out there and be persistent, and that's just the way, just to get it, make it happen.
True. And there's one other thing I wanted to mention while listening to you was like there's a saying in the business world is like the more failed businesses you have, the
Mhm.
higher chance to succeed in the next one, so that you have more
Absolutely.
experience and everything. So my question is
True,
like
true.
the people before us, like
Hmm.
the people older than 35,
Right.
who like where are they, where are these people, like did they fail? I'm not sure, like if I'm
Mm. Right.
asking a very holistic question, that like maybe there are a lot of exceptions as well, but these
Absolutely.
under
Where are
35
they? Where
CEOs,
are they?
founders,
Yes,
they're in
yes,
the limelight,
absolutely.
nah? So where are those 50
Where
year
are those
old
people? Mhm.
40
Why
year
aren't they
olds?
playing in this ecosystem?
Yeah, where are they, right? So,
Right.
is it because the youth are in focus, or is it because they exist actually, but it's just
Mhm.
not there in the focus? They're working under a hood or something. What do you
That's a
think?
very good question. All right. So, as you've mentioned, like I personally believe that there's no age to succeed, because
Mm-hmm.
if we look at Walt Disney, right, and if you look at uh, KFC, the history of McDonald's, they
Mm-hmm.
have all succeeded almost at the 11th hour, almost before dying, right?
True. Yeah.
There's no time to succeed. Only probably Elon Musk is an exception. He probably never fails.
Mm-hmm.
He's a freaking genius.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, I think failing is necessary. If
Mm-hmm.
you are as dumb as me, then failing is necessary to understand. And if
Mm-hmm.
you have an IQ like Elon Musk, then you probably don't need to fail at all.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back to your question, where are these people who has accumulated so much experiences in the past 20 years? They
Uh-huh.
have a lot to contribute, and we personally have a lot to learn from them.
Uh-huh.
If we both can collaborate, all this experience once we can get the wisdom from them, and we can contribute our perspectives and innovation. If we can have a great blending, oh,
Hmm.
I can see a magic happening.
Hmm. Yeah, that is something that, like, we have to dig deep into. Like, where are these people who have basically wisdom to offer, but maybe they did not operate in this internet domain, or not in the tech domain, or maybe they operated in some other domain, but experience is
Mhm.
experience, nah? It's universal, like, according to the culture.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Right,
this is
right.
a question for the audiences as well. Like, let us know if you find these people. We really want to like talk to them. So,
Yeah, just
Shamdani,
help
any
us
last
connect.
messages for the audience?
Any last message for the audience is that if you're really planning on doing something, pursuing your dream, first first message is that get ready for some real trouble. The journey is not going to be smooth. It's not gonna be, you're riding a Ferrari and you see all the money pouring in. You'll have to be on the streets. You have to be burning under the sun. A lot of people will reject you, but don't let this break your hope and dream. I personally had a lot of people who are really close to my heart saying that, oh, you have studied in a good university, be a delivery man. Right. So these are all the things that I had to personally listen to. Whatever you're doing in your own field, always start small, always start from the scratch. Try to do the things by your own and then bring in people and help them to understand how things are done. And most importantly, get a good team because without a good team, you can never succeed. It's never a one man show.
True, true. Yeah,
Just
wise
go out
words,
there and
my
conquer
man.
the world.
Wise
Yeah.
words. Thank you so much, Shamdanee. Thank you so
It's
much
a
for
pleasure, sir.
today. And yes, I'm closing off the podcast right now. But yeah, thanks a lot.
Mm.
And I want to talk to you later
Thank you so
after.
much.
So yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me over
yeah,
this podcast. It's amazing to be a part of it. Thank you
yeah.
so much, and
Thank
thanks a
you.
lot to the audience.
Yeah, thank you, Shamdanee.